Hey, Warrick.
Yeah, sorry, my phone.
Yeah, I'm muted as well. We can.
Having one place to
Well, welcome everybody. I am Steve Wyche with the NFL Network, and it is a real special evening. It is the actual Juneteenth celebration with the Warrick Dunn Charities. And joining me as the co-host tonight for this special event is a former Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner. He's a three-time Pro Bowl running back. He's a limited partner with the Atlanta Falcons. And most importantly, he is the founder of Warrick Dunn Charities. Everybody, I am joined by Warrick Dunn.
How you doing? How you doing?
Hey, Warrick, this is great because, before I came to NFL Network, I used to be the beat writer for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution for the Falcons, and I covered you for years. And we've been through some highs and lows, man. You playing with that team, sacrificing your body and doing everything you had to do to put together some of the greatest seasons of your career, man. It was a pleasure joining you. It's a pleasure, joining you here tonight to do this.
Well, no, Steve, I'm a fan of yours, but I just remember us early on when I got to Atlanta, just building a relationship. Really helped me.
All right, Warrick, are you with us? We went through what's happening in the world today, and that's a little bit of Wi-Fi connection issues. Who knows? We're probably gonna have a couple more of those. Hopefully not, because we have a big evening planned. Look, Warrick, let's kind of get things started. Because we're gonna be doing a lot of educating here, including us being educated. We're gonna hear from a corporate sponsor talking about some of the diversity and inclusion issues that have come about, especially over the past year since the murder of George Floyd. We're going to talk about your personal journey and your personal story, which led you to do all of these great things with the Warrick Dunn Charities Foundation. And then, of course, we're going to talk about your big event coming up on June 25th. Where we're going to be joined by some of the characters. I think we call them celebrities, but I'm going to call them characters. Who are going to make this a really strong evening.
They are characters. Trust me. They are characters.
Our work, as we've seen, over the past year, on top of the pandemic that we're starting to finally come out of, and I mentioned the death of George Floyd, the aftermath of what happened there. And we've seen how, people of color are still getting killed, by police violence. We've seen a lot of insecurities around financial insecurities because of the pandemic and some of the job losses, home insecurities. How am I going to feed my families? And just of all of this kind of tsunami of what's gone on that we've all had to persevere through. We've also seen some corporations, step up and have to say to themselves and kind of come to a reckoning that, hey, Black lives do matter. Brown lives do matter. And so I want to kind of ask you, because you deal so much in this world now, where do we go from here, especially as it involves corporations doing their share to help you, to help others kind of get back on their feet to push things forward?
Well, if you really think about it, 2020 was a big push with corporations when you have a video that's showing George Floyd dying on the sidewalk, getting killed. I think that woke up a lot of people, and it just really start to take this diversity, equity, inclusion, just really the issues of America really just came to the forefront. So, for me, I just think, it's been a whole year, but you got to continue to press companies to continue moving forward and, fulfill their promises. But I do know that they have to take steps. We all have to take steps moving forward, because I think everyone deserves an equal opportunity. I just think, one, when a company really wants to do it, it starts with the leadership. It starts at the top, right? You got to lead by example.
Okay, it looks like
they really.
All right, Warrick, do we have you again? Because, as Warrick was saying,
came back. I don't know.
Okay, there we go. But you were saying that these corporations and companies have to lead by example.
I'm here. Yeah, well, leadership.
Right.
Leadership. Let me see something. Make sure. Let me make sure. But I have all my.
Okay, while Warrick is figuring that out, there's a great thing, is a great reminder for all of us. A comment. There are comments and questions. Please go into the chat that you'll see pop up as we see Joe DDA. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this. We said Warrick has always been an advocate for diversity and inclusion within his organization. So if you have a question or a comment, please drop that in there. So Warrick and I and some of the other people who are going to join us can talk about some of these things. But Warrick, now that you're back, you were talking about corporations taking leadership, but really to transition. Let's go ahead, because look, there's a lot of corporations that are sponsoring your charities,
Definitely.
that have really shown up and helped you for what you're about. What about some of those companies and sponsors that have shown up?
Well, I salute them. They understand our mission, our goals, and what we want to accomplish. I mean, what we've done over the last 24 years, we've had true impact in the community, helping 189 single-parent families in 25 markets. 25 markets, but 14 states. And it's been, for me, life-changing, because you have an opportunity to touch a family. And it's not just the parents, but it's mainly, and more important to me, the kids, how we look at them and how we help them create a stable environment that can really push their lives forward. I think people can see it firsthand. Companies that partner with us, they actually can see their dollars being worked right there. They can actually see it happen. So I think what we do is really compelling. It's something that's needed in America, and it's something that companies can participate in. We've had partners that have actually got employees to come out and do some shopping and staging and just really be a part of that process. So it's a great opportunity for all of our partners, and I think all of the partners who really help sponsor this and really support an organization right now for this June 25th event. I just want to say thank you. You guys have been committed. You've always been great partners. We just want to continue to build and really set a standard so that we can really just move forward and help more people. And we're just really just trying to grow and continue to impact them in a positive way. And the last thing I would say is that we do have a 92% success rate of families that are in their homes, or they sold their home and bought another home. So we're making positive impact, and we've helped 4 single fathers. It's not just about single moms, but we've helped 4 single fathers as well. So it's been a blessing.
And the great thing about it, Warrick, is this isn't something new. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time now, and I love watching these pictures of these life-changing moments you've brought to these families, to the mothers and the fathers that you said. We'll kind of get to the origin of why you did that a little while ago. But part of the purpose, folks, remember that why we're here tonight is so you can find out about Warrick Dunn Charities. Maybe donate to Warrick Dunn Charities. So don't forget to go to his website. Help me if I'm right here, Warrick, WDC.org.
Yes, sir. WDC.org. You can go on the site. You can learn more about what we're doing, the other programs that we have, because it's not just about putting families in homes. We have a financial literacy program that's called Count on Your Future, where we try to really incentivize families to start saving money. It's not just about checks and balances, and we will actually match them up to $500 if they start a savings account, but we also give them access to a financial advisor so they can work on budgeting and those things. We also have another program that's called Scope, where it's a healthy food initiative, where we really try to educate families on quick and healthy meals to cook. Using coupons when you go shopping, but now we've really expanded and now having families grow their own build vegetable boxes and grow their own foods in their backyard. So we're really just trying to advance to help families be healthy and eat healthy. And we also now have a program that's called Hearts for Community Service, where we give scholarships to individuals who are wanting continuing education and need help along their journey, but at the same time, they're doing good things in the community. So we're just really just trying to give back to individuals who are doing the work. And what I would say is that we don't give anybody anything. I mean, what we do is we give a hand up and not a handout. And, I love the people that I work with, my board. I have a great team of individuals that are passionate about, life-changing moments, what we do in the community. And now we just want to continue to build on that and continue to move forward.
Well, one thing to help move forward, Warrick, is the education element of things. And as we see in the title of this program, Juneteenth, a
Right.
night with Warrick Dunn Charities. And look, Juneteenth is something I never learned about growing up in school in Missouri. A lot of folks probably outside Texas didn't know about this. So part of what we're going to do tonight is also help educate some folks and give our take on how some of these historical, I won't even say elements, some of these things in American history, not just Black history, that have been oversights for so long, really relate to what's going on today. So let's talk a little bit about Juneteenth itself, since we're approaching Juneteenth later on this month. If you could explain a little bit about what it's about and just why it's so much in the consciousness of Americana today.
Well, Juneteenth is also called Emancipation Day, where it's a celebration of June 19th, 1865. The Union soldiers went to Galveston, Texas to tell the local residents there that slavery has ended. But if you really think about it, Abraham Lincoln ended slavery in 1863. So we were still, behind, and the southern states were still having people enslaved. I just think as a country, Black people have always been at the bottom, and we've had our issues. And I just think now over the last year, you've really seen a lot of these issues come to light. And I think people are starting to speak up more, but people are understanding and have more empathy for what Black individuals have gone through, and it's been a journey. And I think this is a great celebration, but it can't just stop there. You have to continue to move forward and build a brighter future for the individuals that are the next generation.
Absolutely. And one of the reasons we're bringing this up is now look, a lot of schools are trying to put Juneteenth and the Tulsa Race Massacre and things like that into their curriculums. And here we're watching some of the video from the Tulsa Race Massacre from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and what happened there, because last week, Memorial Day weekend, was the 100th year since the Tulsa Race Massacre. And this is one of the greatest travesties in American history that, again, most of us did not know about, some of us until the Watchmen series came on HBO a couple years ago, where you actually had a Black community, which was a Wall Street. I mean, they had doctors, they had lawyers, they had 40 blocks of their own industry where money was being recycled, where they had hotels and wealthy people burned down, people murdered because of an accusation that a white man improperly touched a white woman. A lynch mob came into the Greenwood section of Tulsa, Oklahoma, only to be met by armed Black people. And now all of a sudden they're like, oh, who are you to have guns? So we're getting ready to come at you full force. And this is an absolute travesty as well. And again, Warrick, when you see some of these lessons and some of these things that we didn't know about. Again, I never learned about this.
Right.
I'm old enough to grow up listening to the Gap band, Uncle Charlie Wilson. You know what Gap stands for? Greenwood, Archer, and Pine. Those are the three intersections of the streets of the Greenwood district in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's all I knew. That's all I knew of it until recently. And so now we're seeing, again, kind of this wokeness, this enlightening. And the fact that we're talking about this, I think, is truly important.
Well, I'll tell you, history, I'm not a fan of history. That's not what I studied in school, and that's not something I really focused on. But when you really look back on it, like you said, Tulsa, that started because it was an allegation. Nothing was proven. Individual didn't have their time in front of, innocent before being, proven guilty. But I think if you look at the history of this country, this has been going on for years. I mean, we've had Black individuals, Black men being lynched, white individuals just killing them and not being charged. No one was charged in Tulsa. I mean, it's crazy, but, technology has changed things, because now you can actually see video, it's actual footage. And now, all these allegations that people, have been saying for years, now this stuff is actually coming out and showing that, Black individuals are being abused. And I just think technology has really changed the game, and it's put people at the forefront. Listen, I'm a black man. I was stopped driving a nice car. And why was I stopped? I wasn't speeding. I wasn't swerving. I wasn't doing anything. The police officer told me, you look like someone who was smuggling drugs. And I'm just like, really? I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, you stopped me. I had a cup of coffee in my hand. I'm dumbfounded. So, it happens to everybody. I have friends who've been stopped. Police chiefs have been stopped, just because, they suspect. And, I think laws need to really change in this country to help us move forward and be a better country. The one thing I can say is that my mom, she taught me so much about, life and how you treat another individual. And, for me, she didn't really focus on color. She's like, treat people the way you want to be treated. And that's always how I've tried to live my life.
And you have work, again, knowing you are just one of the kindest souls any of us have ever met, hence you being honored with the prestigious Walter Payton Man of the Year award and people recognizing you for so much. And look, so let's kind of take it to another layer, because it's a landmine conversation, but one that's constantly there, and we're starting to see some of it, and that's reparations in terms of making amends today for history that's happened. And I live here in Los Angeles, and this recently happened in Manhattan Beach, one of the swankiest areas of the Los Angeles County area. And that originally was known as Bruce Beach. It was owned by a black family, a wealthy black family. And when more black families started to move in the area, government eminent domain said, you got to go. Can't have this area. So this was another thing like Tulsa where, hey, they could have built Marriotts. It could have been the next huge family in real estate. Who knows? But in recognizing the wrongs that happened, a new law is being proposed to give back a significant parcel of land in Manhattan Beach. And I'm telling you right now, Warrick, this is where there's not a home on the beachfront area that goes for less than $5 million. This is some of the most expensive real estate in Southern California. So we are walking a fine line, because some people say, I had nothing to do with this. If this is my great grandfather or someone else I didn't know who did this, why would I be responsible for trying to correct history 100 years later?
Well, I understand that argument, and I can't blame them for bringing that up. But at the same time, when you really think about history and how individuals have grew their wealth, it was off of black individuals, slaves that are working, or, when someone became successful, they took their property. And it's not just in Manhattan. This has happened all over the country where, land has been given to black individuals, and eventually that land was taken, or they've given them not even a fair price for the property because they were forced off. And, when I think about reparations, I just really look at the history, because I don't know a lot about it. But the little bit that I have read and I've educated myself on is that, this country, we've been given reparations, we've been giving reparations. So I don't understand why that is an argument. It should be, how can we figure out a way to move forward to help individuals? And if the reparations don't have to go back to individuals, why not go and now invest and help people and really build a system that individuals can really get back on their feet and be great citizens in society? I think we need to really push for that.
Well, yeah, and look, if we did get caught up too deep in reparations, this country would have a hard time reconciling for what it did to our Native American and our indigenous brothers and sisters as well. But, so one thing, we've heard about again over this past year is diversity and inclusion, right? Corporate America. Mm-hmm. What corporate America can do, because so many decisions, such as taking the land from the Bruce family in Manhattan Beach, or corporate decisions today, like putting an ad out by Gucci that looks like blackface, which was something that blew up because they didn't have people of color in the decision-making process. And this is really where, we're hanging a big title of diversity and inclusion, and diversity and inclusion officers work. And so right now, I want to bring in Marsha Oliver, if we can. And Marsha Oliver, hello, Marsha. She is the PGA Tour Director's Vice President of Community and Inclusion. And Marsha, this whole world of DE&I is really kind of an exploding title, so to speak, in corporate America. And they're at the PGA Tour. How did you get into that role, and what exactly is your role and what you're trying to accomplish?
Sure. And I want to say thank you all for hosting this conversation and actually inviting me to be a part of it. So I am delighted to join you tonight. You know, Steve, you opened tonight's discussion saying that it starts with education, and it could not be more aptly describe how we at the PGA Tour are seeking to lead and engage our DE&I efforts. And I want to say, I mean, diversity, equity, and inclusion has been a priority of the PGA Tour for many years. 5 years ago, we adopted a mission statement, a strategic plan, all related and centered around diversity. And so for us, as we have looked at the past year and the racial reckoning that our country has undergone, it's caused us to have a conversation because, you know, traditionally DE&I has been in the HR space. It's talent and culture. It's what are your hiring practices? It's what are you doing in order to ensure you've got programs and policies that are improving and advancing and progressing. And you know what? And we started to do that very same thing. You know, for us, it started us to have a conversation while we were so busy working on ourselves internally. What should our role be? So our commissioner made it clear that DE&I is a priority that every single person in our organization holds and carries. He doesn't want D&I to be, hey, you've got a problem, go see the person down the hall. You know, my role as VP of Community and Inclusion bolsters the work and the way in which we operate as an organization. We host tournaments around the world to be good stewards in the communities where we play. And what we discovered is when we talk about $3 billion in charitable investment that we have given since our inception, you know, we had to ask the question, are those charitable investments really reaching the African American, underserved, underrepresented communities? Are they really making an impact? You know, we heard Warrick talk about, you know, scope, you know, food desert. So when we give a contribution, are we looking at how is that really addressing food deserts that may be in a community where we're hosting a world-class event? You know, infant mortality, maternal mortality rates, you know, how are we ensuring that those investments? So my role is to help that education aspect, working directly with our tournaments that we have across the country and helping them, hey, say, you know, we've got to take the time to really dive in and build a greater understanding of how we are ensuring those efforts are really leading and making an impact.
All right, Warrick, I mean, you heard her say, you know, how the outreach isn't just in the corporate office, right? It isn't just in their hiring practices. You know, what about what she's saying about reaching out to the communities? Because that's where you two, you know, where point A meets point B. And how important is that in terms of saying, hey, look, if you plant a seed and water it with the young people, we can get to thinking the right way, and maybe not just the Black people, but with the young people of all races to make them understand that including everybody in the process is a healthy thing.
Well, I don't think you just focus on one race. You help people. And I just think that's important. But, you know, one thing that we could do is we can really now target the kids, the next generation that's really coming up, educate them, you know, really teach them, you know, the things they need to really understand and know about their future. So if you want to make change, we can't start at the top with people, you know, almost at the end of the road. We have to start at the bottom and really engage kids at an early age and make sure they have the tools and like education, really teaching those fine tools so they can be great individuals, great money management, understanding what, you know, diet. I mean, it's a lot of things that we can teach kids to just be better people. And I just think we have to lead by example, but we also have to be intentional in targeting them.
You know, Warrick, and you're spot on with that. I mean, you also said, you know, leadership, it starts at the top. You know, I have to give our commissioner, Jay Monahan, full credit, because when the racial reckoning and the George Floyd tragedy and all of those things happened, you know, he said, hey, the PGA Tour is going to be a part of the solution. We're going to listen and we're going to learn. And when you look at golf, I mean, golf, it's deemed a homogenous sport. It's a white sport. So, you know, us coming to the table to say we're going to be a part of the DE&I conversation, and we really want to be a part of the solution, we had to take the time to learn and understand. You know, you mentioned youth. We've got a First Tee charity that has been in 23 years introducing the game of golf to youth through life core values. They're even taking a look at their efforts now and saying, hey, are they in the most impoverished communities? Are we looking at schools where we have 70% of the kids on free and reduced lunch? East Lake, right there in the Atlanta community where you are. I mean, the tour championship that we host, our season ending tournament that will be September 2nd through the 5th there. One of the things that we do as part of that is we benefit the East Lake Foundation, the purpose-built communities, and the incredible work. I mean, they're the community quarterback, for revitalization in a community, cradle to career services. And we host that tournament to be able to generate that level of impact where we're talking about, infants all the way to careers and housing and all those elements. So, it's really, really important, certainly, to have an understanding. And when we made our announcement about our renewed and strengthened focus around DE&I, we could have done it anywhere in the world, but we chose Atlanta and the East Lake community as a backdrop to say that over the next 10 years, we're going to commit $100 million directing and advancing nonprofit organizations who are centered around addressing those gaps and those disparities. So it's important, as you said, for the leadership to be there, but also to understand that we've got to learn with the communities. We can't sit here in Ponte Vedra Beach, Steve there in Los Angeles, you in Atlanta, and tell others what the community should be and how. We've got to take the time to partner and do the hard work and learn.
Well, Ms. Oliver, I would ask, what steps did the PGA Tour take to really build, the process that you guys went through with this?
Yeah, and I'll say, for us, as I indicated, we host tournaments to be good stewards in the communities where we play. So every single one of our tournaments already provide charitable dollars to nonprofits. So we've spent the last 8 to 10 months working with our tournaments and saying it's important for us to take a look into seeing where those gaps, those disparities are. How can we ensure that we're more engaged and impactful with that? So we've built an entire toolkit and plan in order to work with our tournaments to help them build a better relationship with those community-based nonprofits. And that's just in the bucket of community impact. It's also important for us to grow our sport. We want our sport to look different. We want our sport to sustain. And we've got to build a pipeline and lean in and be supportive of that. The APGA, which is the Advocates Tour, they were founded in 2010. We started a partnership with them in 2013. Their sole mission is to bring greater diversity to the game of golf. So we're not going to stay here in Ponte Vedra Beach and say, hey, we're going to diversify the game of golf. We're going to support and bolster and increase our support and services to the APGA to help them with their mission, in helping to bring greater diversity. We've identified the top 5 Black collegiate golfers. We're going to provide those golfers the opportunity to play on the APGA Tour and then onto our Korn Ferry Preparatory Qualifying Tour. So building those pipelines and those relationships. Growing our business is critically important to us. We know diversity of thought is important. So our recruitment has to be with HBCUs. It has to be in very targeted communities. If we say we want to diversify our workforce, where are we fishing? Are we fishing in the same pond? How can we look at those areas where we have least representation in our employment departments, those hiring practices that I told you we measure? Okay, well, if we see that agronomy is an area where we don't have a lot of diverse employees, well, let's look at some of those universities with agricultural and mechanical in their names. Now, I went to FAMU, so naturally I'm gonna rally for the Rattlers. But it's how can we make sure that our efforts, as you said, Warrick, are deliberate and they are intentional. And so, we're not going to just do this one time, 1 year. We got to learn. I mean,
Yeah.
Steve, you said, hey, I'm learning. We're learning. We're having this conversation today to learn. And that's what we definitely have to do on an ongoing basis.
All right, as a Howard University graduate, shout out to those Rattlers, little MEAC love.
We love the Bisons. We love them. We love them all.
We love it. Shout out to Steph Curry for funding the golf program there at Howard University. Yeah. Last question, Marcia, but before we let you go, because it really seems that your targets to who you're trying to hit it's intentional. You're really, again, grassroots, particular communities, things like that. But is it the responsibility of corporations, big organizations like yours, to help educate those who may not know about things like Juneteenth or about some of the follow-up things to what's going on with George Floyd and the George Floyd Act and things like that, to make them recognize what could happen with the fallout of Ahmaud Arbery and everything when those come to their legal heads.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll speak from the PGA Tour standpoint as well. You know, we saw a lot of companies issue tweets, news releases, public statements, you know, immediately after the George Floyd tragedy. We didn't. The very first thing that we at the PGA Tour saw was an email from our commissioner speaking directly to employees and saying, hey, diversity, equity, and inclusion will be weaved into the fabric of our organization, and it is everyone's responsibility. And as a result of that, he conducted listening tours. Juneteenth last year was a holiday observance for us, where we were provided resources. We hosted a webinar where we actually had an opportunity as employees to learn more about Juneteenth. From that time, we introduced what's called choice holidays, which now allow our employees to identify specific holidays that they have, whether it's a religious observance or Juneteenth. This year will be no exception, where we are hosting, you know, seminars and providing resources and materials for employees to be educated as well. So, you know, it's important for us, again, to make sure that we take the time to educate ourselves, engage with our employees, and have those really tough conversations. You know, I can say I was raised to, you know, to keep all of that hidden. I come to work, I'm here to do a job 8 to 5. I'm here to, you know, how I'm feeling, what I'm dealing with, you know, with my son, or the concerns that we have about police brutality. You know what, you leave all of that home, but when you come to work, but you know what, we've got a culture and we've got an organization that says, no, we want you to bring your whole selves to work. And I now recognize that my life story is part of my leadership story. So it's really important for me to be able to share and lean in and have those conversations with those colleagues. And as you said, it starts with the top. And fortunately, we've got a leader who is not afraid to say, let's have those critical conversations.
Well, Marge, hey, Warrick, that was fantastic. And you know, salute to you what you're doing, what the PGA is doing, because it's important. And you're a leader in this, because there's a lot of corporations, like you said, who are boilerplate and are doing this just because other people are doing it, but it sounds so sincere. So thank you for joining us on this fantastic evening. We're trying to raise funds here at WDC.org for Warrick Dunn Charities. Thanks so much, Marcia.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey, Warrick, she just said something that was really fantastic, where she's bringing her whole self to work, right? Where her life story is part of her story at work. Your life story, as we transition here, is what you do here for Warrick Dunn Charities. And look, a lot of us know about it, but for those who don't, if you could explain to us and walk us through your life story and why what you do at Warrick Dunn Charities is so sincere and so meaningful, just because people can really understand the gravity of why you are who you are and why you do what you do.
Well, if I took my time to tell the story, we'd be here a while. But I'm the oldest of 6, so single mom, and she was a Baton Rouge City police officer that was actually ambushed. She was shot and killed in the line of duty, making a routine night deposit with the grocery store manager at a bank, and that was pretty much routine. When they pulled in, 2 guys opened fire on a police car. She was in a police uniform in a police car. So I get a call 2 days after my 18th birthday to say my mom has been, shot and killed. And, I had no idea, until I really went to the hospital and I saw the body, because I had to identify it. I was just in shock and in awe. And for me, just having a great community in Baton Rouge who really came together for myself and my family. They started a fund for us, and they taught me what it really means to care about your neighbor and to give back. And I'll tell you, I had great leadership and individuals that helped me at Florida State. But when I got drafted with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Coach Tony Dungy challenged all the rookies my rookie year about getting involved and giving back to the community. And I just thought about, what can I really do? I wanted to do something that was impactful. And I thought about my mom and her dream of home ownership. And I pitched this idea to community relations individual, Stephanie Waller at the time at the Buccaneers. And we did a home that first year. We did 3 homes, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. And I can honestly say, looking back, I had no idea what I was doing. I don't think I really appreciated, I just thought like, hey, I'm helping you with the home, not really understanding the magnitude of it. But once I saw the news that night, I was like, wow, that was life changing. I want to do it again and again. And that's really what has driven me all these years. And now I just want to go and help individuals. And it's not just about single moms. It's about single parents. We all have struggles and issues, and everybody's working hard. And some people need a little assistance. And that's what my mom needed. My mom was only making $36,000 to trying to raise 6 kids. And when you can't, put food on the table consistently, I mean, you're going to struggle. So she could never afford to buy that home. And, I've just been living on my mom's dream, for almost 24 years now. So it's been a blessing. And it's been, for me, having a really great team, great individuals who are supporting, myself and really letting me mature, because I had to grow up. I mean, I became an adult when I was 18 years old and trying to raise kids while I was at Florida State. And a lot of people don't know this. My second year in Tampa, my 3 youngest brothers and sisters, they were living with me. So I had to go to PTA meetings, watch them on weekends. I was parenting, making sure they did homework, cooking dinners. But you know what? That was the most important thing for me. I had to make sure my mom kids were taken care of. And I don't regret doing it, but I just think it taught me a lot about life and a lot about people. And I haven't forgotten where I came from, because, the community I live in is a nice community. I still go home. I'm engaged with people. And, the city of Baton Rouge taught me that. My mom taught me that. Just remembering the way that she treated people and how she communicated with them. I mean, that was, that had a lasting effect. And I'm just so thankful that, I had to grow up quick, but at the same time, she taught me a lot before she left. So it's been a true blessing with all the support that I've had. And I'm just so thankful for that.
And Warrick, I want to kind of circle back to that, but you mentioned something, and I think it's topical, that we're hearing more discussion of. And look, I covered you when you went through this with the Falcons, because you talked about the stresses and all the pressures. Yeah, you just told us, okay, I fed my brothers and sisters and did all that. But you're having to play football. You're having to do a whole lot at the time. And I'm sure there were the anxieties and the mental stresses, the mental health that really wore on you. We see Naomi Osaka, the top female tennis player right now, going through it. We've heard Dak Prescott and Hayden Hurst, and a lot of these people talk about it. And when you talk about support and people being there in this whole issue now, again, we're seeing not just athletes, but people. Again, we're coming out of a pandemic. What you're doing, you're talking, housing insecurity is greater than ever. I live in Los Angeles. The homelessness issue is insane, with rent relief going away and things like that. What can people do, and what can corporations do to help people with some of these mental health issues that are probably going to spike as we kind of get back, to the real world, you having lived through it and you trying to help people live through it?
Well, I can go back, is that, I was so closed off for 10 years of my mom's death that I didn't know that I had issues. I thought everything was fine. But, I started going to counseling in 2003 when I moved to Atlanta, and I was ashamed of it. And I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't want anyone to know that I was, going to counseling. I had to tell the people up front, hey, I'm Warrick Dunn. I play for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't want anybody to see me. So can I go through the back door and hide in the room and then come out? But the more that I went and I expressed myself, the more confident I became. And, I just want to tell people, going to counseling, it isn't a negative, it's a positive. And I just think corporations also have to support their employees. We have to support our communities and give people the assistance and help that they need. And again, I would always say it starts at leadership at the top. You have to lead by example. And I have a great leader here in Atlanta with Mr. Blank, who I've learned a lot from. But I've also, I got leadership from Coach Tony Dungy, Bobby Bowden, the city of Baton Rouge. Like I said, they wrapped their arms around us and they really held us tight. And if we can go and support each other, not everybody's going to make the right, steps and the right decisions. But if we do those little things to support them, and I think corporations, they have an opportunity, just to you really support their individuals. They need to start with some goals, really compile data to assist their individuals. They can identify certain needs of concern for their employees. So once they learn about them, they can also develop best practices so they can really support their employees along that journey. But most importantly, you have to invest in your people. For me, that's the most important thing. And the last thing I would say is that when you invest in them, you learn a lot. You're not going to always make the right decisions the first time around, but you can take steps, readjust to go back in steps. And I would end with, we have to continue to have unconscious bias training for individuals, because we want to build a better society. We want to have better individuals, but we got to help them with the balance and support them. We have to collaborate. We have to give each other, and expect from each other what we all deserve, and that is your best. And I just think we need to continue doing it. I think corporations are taking the right steps. We just have to make sure that they follow through on the promises they made in 2020. I think that's important, because we're a year removed. Sometimes you can get forgetful and it's not top of mind. Continue to be passionate about, seeing change in your community, because these are the same individuals that are help support your companies. If more diversity, more inclusion, the more creative, you actually make more money as an organization. So I think that's important that they understand that, this is only going to help you create your brand and make your brand bigger and better.
I'm so glad you said that, because accountability to a lot of these companies put out these boilerplate statements. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, but they're not held accountable. Sometimes the follow through isn't there. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Warrick, you talked about how you're helping teach people how to eat healthier, and you're supporting them, through the Warrick Dunn Charities in certain ways. When you think about something like a Juneteenth, or we talked about the Tulsa Race Massacre, are these things that you're addressing with some of the people that you're working with?
Well, I just think education is important. I don't know all the history, so I would always, try to learn as much as I can that I can share and hopefully get them excited about wanting to go learn more. But I think it's important that, education is key. And, in 2020, the organization, we were reaching out to our recipients and really trying to see, how can we help you guys? And one of my recipients told me, it says, well, how can you hold me accountable when I don't know? For me, that statement has stuck with me, because, the main thing she's talking about is, if I don't know, that means I'm not educated on the issue, or whatever it is you want me to move forward. We have to help each other, educate each other and push each other forward just to be better. And if we know, we do more. We're better people. We're just better overall. So I think education is the key. And it's not just in financial. It is, it's the little things that are game changers. And I try to tell my families, like, listen, we can budget, but when you purchase a home, it's monthly maintenance costs as well. You probably need to start saving, putting money aside. So we try to really support them throughout their journey of home ownership. And I just think we have to continue to educate them on the do's and don'ts. Spend money. This is my motto: spend money on need and not necessarily things that you want. I grew up that way. When I lost my mom, I spent money on all the things that we needed as a family, not the things that we wanted. You could save up for that nest egg to get some of those things, but at the same time, let's spend money on need. Get to a point where you're comfortable, then you can go out and get some of those things that you want. So educate is important.
Real quick, we want to ask you guys, going to drop some comments, and we see some popping up. We see Lisa Diana's popping one up right now. But ask questions as well. Let me not be the only one driving this conversation for the Warrick. If you got something you want to ask Warrick, go ahead. Let's get it in here, because we want to hear from you, and that's even for the people who are going to be watching this on replay. Because I've been told that there are going to be people, maybe Warrick himself, who are going to be following up on some of the questions, because there's things you might not be thinking about now, you might think of later. Put them in there, and hopefully we can address them. So again, this is you're engaged. This is for you. And and I'm sorry I hopscotched this, but it's something I wanted to say. You said that you really were kind of ashamed, or so to speak, to let people know you were getting help. How welcoming are people when you try to teach them financial literacy or things like that? Do they seem to want it, or they say, okay, this is just kind of part of the process of what I have to go through to get this house?
Well, I just think it's a part of the process, but they've been on this journey, so they understand the steps and the process because it's a learning curve, and I just think that helps them move them forward. But again, the parents, they're doing it. We really try to now focus on the kids because they're the next generation. They come in contact with money, and they got to make major decisions. We want them to be able to be really good money managers early in life. We have to, home ownership is the quickest way that you can build wealth in this country. We have to educate people on, if you want to leave wealth for your family, home ownership can help you do that. But we can also teach you how to invest, save. Like I try to tell kids and then parents, it's like, what type of life you want to live? Think about that. If you really think about the life that you want to live now, not today, but think about that 20, 30, 40 years from now, what type of lifestyle do you want to live? That's what you have to plan for. And most people live for the moment and not necessarily planning for the future. And you want to leave your kids a nest egg, that is planning for the future. So it's a lot of things mentally that we have to change minds because, you can influence young individuals because what they see on television, they see fast cars, jewelry, all Louis Vuitton, all this stuff. That stuff, it's material stuff. You can't take it with you. I don't think it's going to make you a better person. It's not going to, help me sleep better at night. I just think we really need to focus on what type of life we want to live and how we want to be able to really support not just myself, but my family overall. And I just think we really need to push to educate individuals.
Well, to piggyback off that, we do have a question from Jarman Wesley. I don't know if you can see it there. You got it there. When it comes to financial literacy, what are the key things you focus on when trying to educate people in your platform?
Well, we really try to focus on not just checks and balances because everybody does that. We try to focus on like what are those things that that monthly budget, the things that you really need to live. But we try to really incentivize them to now let us help support you in meeting with the financial advisor. You have access to a financial advisor for 2 years, but start saving money. Think about your everyday spending, your monthly spending. Now, how can you really go back and look at it, analyze that, and think about, did I spend on the things that I really needed? Was it just food? Was it, I did this, I did that? Why not really focus on how can I start putting money away so I can save for that rainy day? Because you just never know what happens. So we really try to focus on, that monthly budgeting, but also starting a savings account, which is key. And like I said, we will match a family up to $500, which I think for me is important that we can match it. That tells me you're actually taking the steps to, help yourself build, planning for a future.
All right, so Warrick, we're going to transition, and I've been told we got a couple, like I said, we're calling them celebrities. We're going to call them characters, who I'm sure will say that, you were real good about saving your money back in the day because they were paying for the dinners. But let's transition to your big event in June. I'm sure because I know who some of them are. I know all of them are. But look, Warrick, your charity, you'll be hosting your annual fundraiser Friday, June 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. In the past, it was a golf tournament, but this is going to be more of a virtual thing.
Yeah,
so kind of explain what people can get into.
Yeah. So this year, usually we do a golf tournament over at East Lake Golf Course, but this year we're going to a virtual experience. It's called Wine, Dine, and Cigars. It's going to be a blackjack room, and we're also going to have a trivia room. We're going to have, cigar roller. We're going to have someone doing tricks. I mean, it's just going to be a fun night from 7 to 9 o'clock. And, I have a bunch of my guys I play with on Atlanta Falcons, but some opponents that, that really want to come and support, and they love what we do in the community. And you know, I also have some close friends that I've met over the years. I have, you know, Marcus Allen, you know, who was like an idol for me in a sense growing up, really taught me early on. I know crazy guy Chris Tucker is going to come on. Every time I see him, you know, he calls me Warren. He couldn't say my name at first. It was like Warren man, Warren man, Warren man. But I have Neo is going to come on and support. And, you know, I just talked to Fred Taylor the other day to kill Spikes, you know, Malcolm Jenkins. So it's we have a really good group of guys. These guys up on the screen now, John Randall, who, you know, I talk trash to John all the time about, you know, when he's spinning around, I had to hit him in the mouth. Yeah, I had to tell him.
John Randall's like the dude. I don't think anyone was talking trash to you, Doug.
Oh no. It happens. You have to talk trash. You can't really worry about what he says. You know, it was a love tap. I just tell him it was a love tap.
That's what it is. Hey, so real quick though, some other stuff. So the live auction stuff is awesome as we continue to look at some of the celebrity guests. But you know, I'm looking for stuff here. Guests can bid to play golf and have lunch with you and another celebrity at the East Lake Golf Club with 5 of their friends. That sounds healthy.
Yeah, that is.
I'm going to blow through it. Hey, real quick.
That's a healthy thing. That's a healthy thing. You know, that's 2 foursomes. We can have fun.
Warrick, I'm going to blow through these kind of quickly because one of the celebrities is dying to get at you here. Okay, a Davidoff Geneva cigars experience for up to 8 people with you and your NFL friends in Buckhead Village. Yep. A special weekend with tickets at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers season opener. That's going to be fantastic. An Atlanta Falcons game day experience with exclusive club access to the Mercedes-Benz Gullwing Club. By the way, I love that picture of you running through that hole, taking the handoff from Joey Harrington. A Super Bowl package here out in LA and more. This sounds fantastic, but the key is what work. They have to attend the June 25th event in order to bid.
Yeah, they have to attend. So please sign up if you want to bid on these items. You know, I know if you come to Atlanta Falcons game in Atlanta, you know, I'll be there. I'll, you know, invite you into the Gold Wing, of course, get you some sideline passes. I'll make it a really great experience. So just looking forward to that. And if you want to play golf, you know, I can get, you know, one of my close buddies to come out and play around the golf. So, you know, I can get anybody you want. You tell me, hey, I want this guy, I'll try to make sure it happens. So, you know, East Lake is a premier course. I tell you, my financial advisor, we played golf out there once. I mean, he stands on the hole. He can tell you, you know, everything about the course. You know, Bobby Jones hit the shot right here. I'm talking about, he knew the history of it, which is kind of scary, but you know, it's just I think a great opportunity, and you know, everybody wants to see the defending champs, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, you know, let's come up. Please support us. We're just trying to, you know, grow our impact. You know, help more individuals and get the home 200. We're about to get the home 200 in the coming years. So, you know, let's make it big and continue to move forward and expand our programming.
Fantastic. And that Super Bowl package, again, as someone who lives in LA near SoFi Stadium, that is a stadium like no other. It is absolutely incredible, and everyone's trying to beat LA. But enough, because one of these cats is just like killing you. See him in the chat right here. He's dying to get in. So, yeah, okay, let's open it up. Yeah. All right, let's bring him in. All right, we have Algie. We have Algie. Oh, Fred McCrary, Algie Crumpler, and Mike Vick. Hold on. Okay, Fred. Okay, go ahead, Fred. Go ahead. I'm out.
That is Team Light Skin over there. Warrick Dunn, Team Light Skin against Team Dark Skin. Yeah.
Oh my God. Hey, you know, Steve, this is how he was when we played. Trust me. The first week he came, you know, I wanted to just kick him, you know, just he was crazy. We argued the whole time. So I love him, but we argued the whole time. Go ahead, Mike, tell him.
Unmute Mike, let him know.
That's your relationship. That's your and Fred's relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, see, me and Mike and Algie got along.
I used to be sick of y'all 04, man. Like, we had a great time, man, but y'all was like, yo, y'all kept us going. I will say that.
Hey, Warrick, you remember in the huddle that time? We were arguing during the TV timeout, and Peerless got in our conversation.
Man, y'all was arguing when Warrick was running through the hole one time. Fred, you was looking back arguing Warrick while y'all was running through the B gap one time against.
Because he wasn't blocking anybody. He was in the way.
What you mean? Hey, we still got the playoff record. What are you talking about, Warrick? Thank you very much. We still got the playoff record against the
Rams.
St. Louis. You remember that? 247 rushing yards.
Yeah, man. But hey, when you first came out there, you didn't know the plays. I had to tell him everywhere to go, who to block.
That's not it.
Yeah,
that is true. That is true.
And it should have been vice versa. What's up, Crump?
What's up, Crump?
Hey, Fred, aren't you responsible for Arthur Blank having surgery? Didn't you run into him on the sideline in practice?
Who, Warrick?
No, Fred.
No, Fred.
Him and Ed Hartwell.
Hey, me and Hartwell, you know how me and Hartwell was. We didn't get along that good. So I had to blast him. I'm sorry, Mr. Blank, but it's what it is.
And Steve, they all, Mike, what's the nickname you had for me when I played? They all had nicknames.
What we called you, Weezy? Weezy Wee?
Yeah, they called me Weezy Wee.
That came up on my phone this morning. I'm telling you, when I seen it, I know I got the answer. I know it's Big Bro.
Well, I was gonna tell my grandmother that you didn't answer, so she's gonna get on you a little bit.
Nah, tell grandma I love her.
Crump, how was Mike able even to call the play with Fred in there yapping? Were you just like, okay, go to sub package and get Fred out, or what?
Hey, Steve, let me tell you a funny story.
I'm talking to Algie, Fred.
Because I just need to know where to line up, and then when Mike was running around, I just turned around. He would throw it to me anyway. It didn't matter.
Nobody else mattered. But let me tell you this, Steve. Mike used to be in the huddle. We got 80,000 people in the stadium. And Mike got a chin strap over his mic, over his face, trying to call the play. Right, 22's in. Mike, nobody can hear you, dude.
Trying to be too cool. You can't be. Hey, message to the kids out there, to everybody watching. You can't be cool playing football. You got to strap them up and go. For real, strap it up and go.
Okay, so Crump or Fred or Mike, tell me, was it better playing like a foursome on a golf course with Warrick, or being out there at the football field with him?
I would say being out on the football field, because it was always a comfort level with Warrick. From the time he came in, just his maturity and the way he approached the game changed the way I approached the game. So when we got on the golf course for the first time, I didn't know how to play, and the way he played, I never wanted to play against him. Now I'm ready for him. I can't wait to play 18. I can't wait to play 18 against him. You too, Fred.
Hey, you don't want none of me, Warrick. No, y'all don't want none of me.
My gosh.
Y'all know better.
Listen, get my game up, because the last time I played with Fred, he whooped me so bad I ain't never want to.
Yeah, hey, listen, I give whoopings, including you, Steve. I whoop you.
Steve, we were in training camp. Fred is in the room swinging a golf club into a mat. I mean, seriously, he's not practicing for real. He didn't really care. He was playing golf, doing training camp.
Well, hey, when you addicted, right?
It's called the bug.
Now,
I still got it.
Well, that means he wasn't blocking anybody anyway. He was missing his blocks. That's why.
That's why you got all those yards, huh? That's why you went to the huh? Yeah, because I missed all those blocks.
So Algie, are you playing with them? Are you playing with them anytime soon?
I've been working on my game. I played a couple of courses the last few weeks. I'm excited. So the last time I played with Warrick, I was a lot heavier. And Warrick likes to walk his courses because he's always at East Lake and they don't have golf carts out there.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite in walking shape at that particular time. I can walk 36 now, so I'm not worried.
Hey, Steve, what about your game, Steve Wyche? You got any game?
Non-existent. Hey, here's the thing, because Terrell Davis tried to get me out there, and he's real, right? Like TD's real on there, and I'm like, nope. I saw him hit it, hamstring. I was like Fred in practice, hamstring. Can't go, not playing.
He stole something.
Nah. Hey, you gotta give it a run, Steve. You gotta give it a run, man.
I know. I'm old though. I'm like twice all you guys' age.
No, you're not.
It's the greatest game next to football. That's what I tell everybody.
Well, look, Steve, can I turn the tables real quick? Was it you or your father that used to watch Vic play in high school growing up in the Taiwan?
It was Mike. My father is from Hampton, Virginia, and he used to always talk about Mike and Ron Curry. So it was my father who lived in Hampton who told. I knew about Mike well before people were talking about him.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I was going through them stages, and Ron Curry got all the press clippings, and it hurt me in so many ways. Like by the time I got to college, I was a totally different monster, But Ron Curry was the best high school player I ever seen in my life.
Where did he go?
North Carolina.
North Carolina?
He ended up going to North Carolina.
He didn't do nothing.
He ain't do nothing.
What?
He didn't do
He's
nothing.
moving up. He's moving up. He's moving up the coaching ranks now, Fred.
Yeah,
He's gonna be a head coach one day.
Now. He might be a head coach soon. Maybe 2028 or something. He's working his way up, so I'm proud of him.
I'm proud of you, no doubt.
Okay, so here's the other thing. So there's going to be no golf at this charity event that Warrick is doing, but there is a blackjack table. Okay, so Fred, you got anything to say now?
Of course, I'm betting. I'm betting. I'm doubling down.
Doubling down.
Give me 2 aces. Split them. Bam.
Nah, I want blackjack, man. I'm feeling lucky this month.
I got 2 aces up there. I'm splitting them, Mike.
Fred will double down on 17. It don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Warrick, who would your money be on, Warrick? If you're playing blackjack with them, is your money on you or who you taking?
Oh, I'm always bet on myself. They know this. They know this already. So I'm not gonna let them win my money.
I ain't never seen you in a casino a day in my life.
Oh my goodness. Come on, man. Come on now.
Yeah.
Listen, you guys gotta remember listen, I grew up in a house of a gambler. My grandmother, all she played is bingo now. Listen, y'all should know this. Come on now.
Bingo, remember? I beat her.
You beat my grandmother at bingo.
I beat her.
You know what?
Being with.
Oh my gosh, boy!
Is your grandmother going to be on the at the charity event on the 25th?
Well, I can get her on there. I mean, she don't know how to work technology, but she will cuss Fred out for us.
More than her forehead, like the last time we videotaped Grandma.
Yeah, she had the camera. All she saw was her forehead. So it's just like tilt the camera, Grandma. She's 84. She's 84. So I can help her out. I can help her out.
That's absolutely fantastic. Hey, so Algie, I want you guys to go full circle. So we'll go Algie, Fred, and Mike. So you guys know Warrick, great football player, fun. You guys have a lot of fun, but just the stuff he's done and the stuff he is doing to help out so many people and change so many lives. I mean, you guys have seen it up close. You know the man. Algie, again, you can start.
Yeah, so whenever the Warrick Dunn Charities had started, and Warrick was doing stuff in Louisiana, doing stuff in Tampa because he had transitioned to Atlanta. He decided to do stuff in Atlanta. At that time, I think it was around 30 or 40 homes. I remember the milestone to 100 homes. While we were in the queue waiting to come on, Warrick is talking about it's about to be the 200 home.
That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable amount of lives changed. Families having places to live. It's amazing watching the transition of not just the homes, but the financial commitment that's made, the financial literacy that's made, the smiles put on these kids and these moms' faces when they're walking into these new homes. I've been to many of the golf tournaments that Warrick's had. I've been to his home when he's had this tournament, so I can't wait to be there on June 25th. I haven't had a cigar in a couple of weeks, so I can't wait to light one up and drink some of this wine that Warrick's going to swing. I'm proud of you, Doug. I wear my pin when I go to the Falcons game. You'll see I have the Warrick Dunn Charities, the same logo he has on his chest there. I wear the pin a lot of the games if I know I'm going to see Dub, as I call him.
Dub Dizzle.
So proud of him. Fred, what you got, man?
Hey, Warrick knows this. Like anytime he has anything, Steve calls me. It's always a yes. It's no, just tell me when and where, Warrick. I'm there. We argue a little bit, but that's what brothers do about silly stuff. But for him to give 198, 199, 200 people homes, it just warms my heart. It's absolutely incredible what one person has done to impact so many families' lives. Even how about Deshaun Watson? He impacted Deshaun Watson too, right? He gave his mom a home, you know. Just anything he had to do, I always support him, and he's one of the best guys I've known, I ever met. Back when we were teammates, I used to go to his house and get dressed when we had to travel, and I really got to know him a little bit more then. And dude, really just a class act guy, and I really appreciate him. I'm thankful for him to be his friend.
Mike, hold up. I got before you go, Mike. Fred, why were you going to Warrick's house to get dressed before the game?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Out in Flowery Branch. So Warrick lived in Buckhead, right by the mall. So, you know, he's bougie like that. He live right by the So, hey, you know, I used to block for him. That's the least he can do, let me get dressed at the house.
Well,
that's what's up. It worked out. It worked out. Look, I'll say this. Fred said the word impact, and then he mentioned Deshaun Watson. And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, talking about impact, look at what Deshaun Watson became, you know, because of that. You know, that was special. And I was on the phone, you know, with my mom today, and Warrick had clicked in, and she asked me who it was, and I was like, you know, that was Warrick. And the first thing she said was, "Oh, he's still giving away houses." I mean, it wasn't, I mean, you know, how he doing, but that's what she remembered. You know, she knows Warrick was a great player, and a lot of our success was because of Warrick and you know, Fred and Algie. But, you know, success comes in all different forms, man. And when you're talking about the 200th home being given away, reaching that milestone, I heard Warrick say when I first got on the call, and I was like, 200, like, I mean, it's unexplainable. And then there's so many people that has been affected, you know, by his presence. And I always looked at him and said to myself, I want to be like Warrick, you know, in so many different ways. Because Warrick was doing this when he was young, like 25, 26, 27 years old. We was young, and he was always different, always mature, and you know, all you guys way more mature than me. But I can respect Warrick because of his story and what he came from, and you know, how he always just put me in the headlock, and he was always tough on me, and just the leadership came in so many different ways. Now I just appreciate it. That's why I'm on the call right now.
No, I appreciate it. Let me just tell you guys though, we're at home 189 right now. We're trying to get up to 200. That's our goal for the
still 189. That's crazy.
Yeah,
and Fred, we don't give away houses. They actually work for them. They earn them. We do our part. We help just push them down the road. So we don't give anybody anything, just so you know.
Okay, well, correct me.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. I'm sorry. I said,
but I have to get on him because, you know, in the huddle, Fred go tell everybody, Warrick giving away houses. Get back to you, and then they find out they got to earn it, and then they, you know, what I mean, they mad at you, Fred.
But I would talk it over with Warrick first before I tell him, you know.
All right.
I mean, you know how
That's
Warrick,
a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah. That don't even sound like you, Fred.
That's a lie.
How we do that? Come on, man.
No. We just messing with you, Fred. We just messing with you, brother.
Hey,
guys. So when we logged in, everybody put their name. You had to be special, huh, Fred?
What did it say?
Freddie Mac in the building.
Hey,
now, Warrick, you act like I'm a change. This is who I
am. Can I say something about Fred real quick?
Trust me, I know.
Fred, you was every Algie. I love you. You know that, man. Our relationship is like no other. But Fred, man, you was a spark too, man. Like when you left our team, like it left a void in our team, bro. And just that 04 season, I remember us going through that year, and just you was loud, but man, you was much appreciated. So just know that you my guy.
Warrick told me the same thing, man. Hey, but you know, this football thing is short. Everybody knows the careers, man. You here today, gone tomorrow so fast. They replacing you like you know, younger, bigger, faster, stronger. So I really just used to take it all in. You know what I mean, Mike? Al, you see how much fun we used to have, man, because it's short.
Yep.
Fair enough. Look at it now. What it's been? How many years? That was 2003, 4.
Like 16 years almost. Yep.
Think about that, man.
17 years.
And we still talking about all the good times and memories we had. Hey, I still remember Steve Wyche out in San Diego.
Hey, Fred, I remember you took me to a big your truck business. You took me out there and we had a real good time doing with your truck business.
Yeah.
So look, I want to say two things real quick. First off, the donations, folks. Anybody can donate at WC.org to take advantage to possibly play around of golf with these guys, because I don't know how. I would love to play around of golf with y'all.
Please bring
it. Would
I want to play. Fellas, Warrick, put it together. I walk East Lake. Come walk. I
want someone to bid. I want somebody to bid on this package too. You know, I mean, to really, so Warrick can get to these 200th house.
Can I just put me in the foursome?
Me, Warrick, us four. Me, Warrick, Algie, and Mike, and Steve. You can come. You could be the. You gotta get. Man, you know,
if somebody bids on the package, Fred, someone's got to get in there. You got to split it up. You know, you got to share the wealth. You guys can convene on the 19th hole. You know, we'll make it happen. Or else we can do a special thing. There it is. Well, look, man, it has been an absolute joy to see you guys again. And man, it's just great. And before we get you out of here, Warrick, we see these three special people in your lives. But what other guest, again, if we could just run through, will be part of your June 25th event as you're trying to raise funds to get to this 200th house?
Man, you get me to go down a list. Richard Dent is going to be a part of it. Like I said, Fred Taylor already. I'm trying to remember all these guys.
Well, you said Chris Tucker, Neo,
Fred Taylor.
Chris Tucker.
Yeah,
Chris Tucker and Freddie Mac and Freddie Mac.
Gary. I'll get in trouble. Gary Sheffield's my partner.
Spikes.
Yep, my buddy Takeo, Marcus Wiley, Baron Davis. So Ugly Freddie right there. Terrell's going to be a part of it.
There's no doubt about it. I'm the best golfer out of this whole group. There's no doubt.
Oh my gosh! You cheat.
Oh my
God.
Cheat.
I cheat? What are you talking about?
Cheats. When someone talks like that, that's just what they do. They cheat, Come
on, Warrick.
Not so funny, man.
Look, if you ain't shooting 75 or 76, don't even come my way. You know it.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I ain't coming your way then. I shot 81. I shot 81. I'm going practice.
I'm the best golfer, hands down, out of the whole group. Not just this group. Everybody here.
Hey, hold on, Fred. No, you ain't gonna talk to us like that. No, Hey, Warrick, set it up.
I got you.
I hope everybody.
You ain't gonna talk to us like that.
I hope you show.
Fred, I'm coming for you, Fred.
Hey, Warrick, do something sneaky and put like Phil Mickelson in this group here too and play against Fred. See what he has to say.
That'd be nice.
Shake him up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. No, I'll do it. I'm gonna get somebody from Florida State who's pro. Florida State come out and play. But I just want to say Malcolm Jenkins is going to be there. John, it's hard for me to say. Doran Bose. He's going to do live magic for us as well. An ex-football great.
That was my teammate, ex-teammate.
The Eagles.
Yeah. So he's going to do magic for us that night. So it should be fun. And what we're doing right now, guys are going to do that. We're going to move guys around to the different rooms and the blackjack rooms and stuff. So and definitely the trivia. So they'll get to engage with everybody and definitely people should have a good time. If you get Fred, he's gonna talk your ear off, because seriously, Steve, we argue during the game, every game. I kid you not.
Hello.
During the game. Hey, okay, Fred. Let's see. Look at Fred.
Fred, okay.
I see you, Fred. I see you.
Okay.
Good move, Fred.
I'm gonna let you go there.
Oh man, she's just doing her job.
Hey,
okay. All right, Fred.
He's different. I told you, he's different.
Hey, Freddie Mac.
Woo.
Freddie Mac.
Hey, Warrick, would you any other way? Would you want to be any other way, Warrick?
No, you're different. You're different. You brought a lot, like you said, you brought a lot of excitement, and we argued every game. Every game.
Man.
I'm talking about bad.
Oh,
I
it was
remember one
bad
time
sometimes.
we was playing San Diego at home. It was either, man, it was a movie in there.
Or missed the hole. And then what's the offensive name?
I missed the hole. Boy, you crazy.
Offensive line coach.
I never seen a fullback and a running back go in the hole together arguing. Warrick was pushing him like, no, Mike, Will, Mike. I'm like, and got like 36 yards on a run. I'm like, match made in heaven.
Nah. Mike, that could have been TD. He in my way. You know?
Yeah.
What was the offensive coach name? Warrick? Mike? Offensive line
Greg
coach.
Knapp.
What was his name?
Greg Knapp.
No.
Yeah.
The offensive line coach.
Alex Gibbs.
Alex
He
Gibbs.
used to get on Warrick, but Warrick, you missed the hole.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
The truth.
No,
Warrick,
no.
you got to bring it back. You got to cut it back.
No. At practice, I do remember this. Right, hold on. I do remember this. At practice, he did tell me he stopped. Let's just stop. He running his own offense. I was like, I can't run. I was like, you want me to just run and hit somebody at the line of scrimmage? I mean, that's not what I'm made to do.
Oh man.
Hey, we don't discuss
about a good time. We used to have an awesome time, man. I'm telling you.
I'm thinking about that coaching staff again, like, oh my God.
Greg
Alex had one rule, no negative yards. Other than that, we was good.
Yeah, I mean, we don't discuss ME's mental errors, y'all. We keep that amongst us.
Keep it for the golf
we
course.
Just such great players that ain't show up. We was professionals, true professionals.
There we go. Hey, we're gonna button this up before Fred gives us another photo, Mom.
Yeah.
So,
and she was just checking if I had something. All she was doing.
Okay.
Whatever, Fred.
All right. We're good.
All right, Fred. All right.
Okay.
Well, that's messy.
Hey, but man, seriously, it is so good seeing you guys again. It has been too long. Look, enjoy June 25th. Stay safe until then. Hold up Juneteenth for everybody. And again, everybody, let's support our guy, Warrick Dunn. So Fred, Algie, and Mike, thanks again. Warrick and I are getting ready to close this up. Warrick, any parting shot at Fred before you close him out?
Well, no, I'm gonna set it up. All four of us, we're gonna play at East Lake. I'm gonna set it up. So we're gonna plan this out. Okay. Fred, I need some strokes now, Fred.
Bring your pocket. Do it, Algie.
Oh my gosh.
And hey, so I can donate it to Warrick Charities. I'm gonna take y'all money and donate it.
Okay, I shouldn't have gave them the last thing, but hey, man, I appreciate them. I just appreciate them coming on.
I see you on the first tee, baby.
Oh yeah. Now I love these guys, and I appreciate them, man.
I love you guys, man, and thanks for having me on. Great seeing you, Steve. Hey, man, you guys take care, man.
Yep, same here. Y'all too.
All right. Appreciate it.
Love y'all, fellas.
Love you,
all right, man. All right.
Okay, so Warrick, and Warrick, as we close, I don't even know how we're gonna follow that.
Hey, Fred is crazy. I promise you. I had to teach him the whole offense. I know, but I had to teach him the whole offense during his first game. The starter broke his thumb on the first play of the game, and he came in. We signed him on Wednesday.
Did he come in from New England?
I forget where he came from, but we signed him. And I told him who to block on every play, when he was on the field. So, and we've been arguing ever since. So it's just
it was effective. You led the NFL rushing like 2-3 years in a row.
Hey, he was a great player because I just needed a crease, and that's the thing. He just gave me a crease, and I made it happen. But it's fantastic though too, Warrick, because you and I used to have this discussion when I covered the team. We've had it since. You always used to say your philanthropic work got so much attention. Yeah, people
forgot how good of a football player you were. Look, more than 10,000 yards rushing. You were one of the all timers. But now that you're done playing, this philanthropic work it's evergreen.
Yeah.
And again, as you make this push to 200 homes, changing the lives that you've changed and seeing the love that your teammates just showed for you and the folks who showed up for this right now, checking in to hear your education and to hear what your charities continue to do in such a positive light. And, for Marcia from the PGA to come on and share, that insight and to take the time, and for you to invite me to do this, it means everything. It means everything. And so thank you for all that you do. And I'm going to let you, since this is your show, go ahead and close this out, Dub D.
No, man, Steve, I appreciate you. Like I told you before, you've been on a journey with me. But I just want to say thank you for everyone who attended. Thank you to all my corporate partners. Without you guys, we couldn't do what we do in the community. And just know that your funds, you support our organization, we're going to always put your money to good use. And we're going to really show you the impact that we have in the community and how we're going to try to just help more people, help more families, and just grow programming. So just thank everybody for attending, a great team. I mean, I'm just thankful, we just have a great team of people that's working day and night, and a lot of phone calls. I've been running crazy, but I'm so thankful that, this is the first step to getting to June 25th. And I hope, again, please sign on to get, silent auction, live auction opportunity. And if you you come to a Falcons game, I got you. Just trust me, I got you. So, and you want to be with the craziness that you just witnessed, golf is there for you. But I appreciate everybody just for taking the time and the commitment to being a part of this. Thank you, guys. Thank you.